Hey everybody, it's Matt with Stormageddon Designs. Today I wanted to go through a quick tutorial to show the process I use to make our cornhole bags with custom designs. I can do pretty much any design that's wanted onto the bags. I make these in my own shop through a process called sublimation. And I'm going to walk through that process and everything I do to create these bags, so sit back and enjoy. Once we have finished our design for the bags that we want, we're going to go ahead and print those out on a special printer called a sublimation printer, which I've got here. Uses special sublimation ink for the sublimation printing. You can see that it was reversed, basically a mirror image, so that it came through mirrored. That's because, as you see, when I place it face down on the fabric here, and I'm taping it down with special heat-resistant tape, and then I put that onto the heat bed, which I'm showing here. I put it on the heat bed, I cover it with a protector, apply the heat and pressure, and what that'll do is that heats up the ink and it sublimates the ink onto the cloth. And this is actually one of the best printing methods that you can do for cloth, one of the most durable. Now that that's done, I lift it off, take the protective cover off, peel off the sublimation paper, which will reveal our printed design on the cloth. You can see how nice and vibrant and fresh that comes out onto the bag. Once that step is done, the next step is to put two of them face to face. I'm lining them up so that everything lines up perfectly for when it's sewn. All of the seams and designs match. I've got a little template here to outline where I want to sew the bag and where the opening will be, and I'll just add a single pin to keep that from moving. And then I will sew around that line. And once I finish this one, I will sew a second line so that it's double stitched. It's just more reinforcement to keep it from ever popping open. Once I've completed that step, I trim off the excess from around where I sewed so that it's not just taking up a lot of extra room in the bag. And then the next step is to turn it inside out. And I have this nice little metal chopstick with a rounded end that I just stick in. I can turn it right side out, get everything where it needs to go, so that it's fully right side out and ready for filling. So once that's there, I break out my scale and I weigh, including the bag. That's why I have the bag under the bowl, and I put these resin pellets in so that including the bag, it equals 1 pound exactly. And then I pour those pellets into the bag. I'll complete all of them, and then I sew a closing seam up top. I'm actually adding a pin down lower to keep the pellets away from where I'm sewing so they don't get in the way of the needle. But I just do a nice, extremely zigzag, thick closing seam for that to close that off. And that finishes off the bag. And then you just complete the rest of them, and that's how these bags are sublimated. And we can do any design practically. And you can see the nice quality they just turn out with. If you get a second, please leave a comment, like my page, and thank you very much for watching.